Welcome everyone. For today's practice, you may need 2 blocks or a cushion for support, and we'll begin by laying down in Shavasana. Settling into this shape, allowing the breath to be natural. Begin to relax all the tension out of your face, your neck, relaxing the shoulders away from the ears. Core is soft and your limbs are heavy. Taking a moment to set an intention for your practice today may just be presence. And if at any point you need to modify it all, feel free to. This is your practice. And you may want to place a hand on your low belly and on your chest. Inhaling through the nose will fill up the low belly first all the way up to the collarbones, holding at the top and releasing through the mouth. And we'll do that 2 more times. Inhaling deeply through the nose, feeling the low belly and the chest expand against your hands, holding when you get to the top, and release. One more time just like that, maybe your deepest breath today. Holding at the top and release. Coming back to a normal breath, extend your arms out in a cactus-like formation on the ground. Begin to bring a little bit more awareness between your shoulder blades. Can you soften? With your left arm on the inside, your right on the out, hug yourself, either placing your hands on your upper arms or wrapping around your shoulders, tucking your chin in, bring your elbows up, and draw a box going to the left, down, to the right, up again, and then back to center. Extend the arms out long again, taking a breath here, and then hugging the opposite way, tucking the chin in, and drawing a box the other way. This movement should be subtle. Extend the arms up above you, taking a full body stretch, rolling out the wrists and ankles. We'll begin to set up for Bananasana, so bringing the arms and the legs over towards the left. You can keep them side by side, or if you want a little bit more intensity, you can hook the right ankle over the left and hold on to the right wrist. Trying to keep your right shoulder grounded and your hip grounded as well, breathing into the right side body. Deep, slow breaths. Begin to make your way back to center and set up on the other side, taking whichever variation feels best for you. May not be the same as the other side, and that is okay. Deep, mindful breaths right here. Coming back to center slowly. Draw your knees into your chest, holding onto your shins. Begin to draw circles, releasing the sacrum, and switch directions. Extend all your limbs up towards the ceiling and roll out your wrists, ankles, fingers, and toes. Keeping the core stable, begin to cast a magic spell with your limbs, making any movements that feel good, getting all the cricks and pops out of the joints. Waking up the core a little bit and bring the knees in, giving yourself a hug, and then bringing the knees over to the left. Right arm extends out and the neck follows if that feels good. Feel free to use a block or a cushion between your legs or underneath the bottom one for a little bit more support. Breathe deeply into the supine twist. full inhalations, and on the exhalations, draw the abdomen in so that there is no stale air left in the low belly. Bring the head back to center first, followed by the legs, bringing them into the chest a little bit, readjusting, and then bringing both legs over towards the right, extending the left arm out long and following with the gaze if need be. Again, feel free to use a block or cushion between the legs or underneath for a bit of support. Breathing deeply here. Bringing the head back to center, followed by the knees. Place the feet out wide, maybe even off the mat. Begin to windshield wiper your legs side to side. If you find a sweet spot, feel free to hold the legs there. Bringing the legs in, holding onto the hamstrings, you can roll yourself up. We'll find ourselves at a kneeling position at the back of our mats. Begin to rotate the fingers in towards the knees. Feel free to pulse here or hold in stillness, breathing through it. Bring the fingers forward again, and lifting the hands, tuck the hands underneath, fingers facing the knees once again. You can pulse here or hold in stillness. And then bringing the fingers out to the sides of your mat, coming into a tabletop position. We'll just rotate through the wrist, going one way, and then switching directions. Bringing the fingers to face forward, we'll come to meet in a neutral tabletop position. We'll do several rounds of cat and cow, imagining the spine like a wave begin to arch up into cow. Head is the last to rise. And then tucking the chin in first, start to wave down the spine, protracting through the shoulders, tucking the tailbone under. And again, starting at the low back, keeping the chin tucked in until the very end, inhaling up for cow. Tucking the chin in, lifting up through the shoulder blades, all the way down, tucking the tailbone under. Inhaling up for cow, keeping the chin tucked in until the end. We'll come to meet in a neutral tabletop position. Bring both hands out about a foot in front of you, sinking your chest down and drawing your hips back over your knees for extended puppy pose. Breathing right here, drawing the low belly in, feeling a connection to the core. You can stay right here, or if you'd like a little bit more of a chest opener, feel free to shift your gaze to look between your thumbs, melting your chest down towards the ground a little bit more. Slowly begin to come back up. And transitioning through a tabletop position, tuck your toes under. We'll come to meet at the back of our mats, lifting our knees up and out wide in kind of a froggy position, extending the arms out long and allowing the spine to curl in, head to be heavy. Feel free to bend into each side, bringing a knee out one at a time. It's just a feel-good movement. Widening the stance of the feet. Begin to bring your hands back. We're going to come into ragdoll, generous bend in the knees and holding on to opposite elbows. Feel free to sway side to side if you'd like. On your next inhalation, start to roll up the spine, vertebra by vertebra, leaving the head heavy until the very end. When you get to the top, inhaling the arms up over the head and bringing them down through heart center. We'll do that again. Inhaling the arms up, maybe tilting the chin back. Bringing the hands down and through. Inhaling up once again. Taking a baby back bend at the top. And then swan diving over the legs. Generous bend in the knees if you need it. Forward fold. Inhaling up for a halfway lift, chest is broad. And exhaling to forward fold again. Walking the hands down the mat, we'll come to meet in a plank position. You can do this on your knees as well. Exhaling down through chaturanga and then through upward dog. Then tucking the toes under and sending the hips back, we'll do our first downward dog. Feel free to bend into the knees, make any movements that feel good. Inhaling the right leg up, and then exhale, opening up to the right side. Coming back to center with that leg. And then on the next exhalation, drawing it into the chest. Inhaling it up again. Exhaling the knee in towards the chest, cat spine. Inhaling the leg up. Exhaling it in, holding here for a moment, and then stepping through. Feel free to pad your knee up by doubling your mat. And feel free to take a sip of water, adjust as needed here. And we'll meet in a low lunge, inhaling both arms up over the head and holding on to the left wrist, bend over to the right. Breathing here, finding length through the left side body. And you can stay right here, or you can start to extend the right leg out long, going back, and then flexing into the right foot. This is a little bit of a balance challenge as well, and it changes the sensations of the stretch. And coming back into the low lunge, releasing the hands, open up to the right side. You can place the right hand on the low back, inhaling the left arm up for a little back bend. On your next exhalation, bring both hands towards the insides of the right foot and lift up the left knee. Begin to draw circles, allowing the right hip to relax. And then meeting in plank momentarily, start to shift your hips back to downward dog. Spreading the fingers out wide on the mat. Inhaling deeply. Feel free to bend your knees generously. Any motions that you'd like to do. And then lifting the left leg up, bending into the left knee, open up to the left side. Extending the leg up long. On the next exhalation, draw the knee into the chest, cat spine. Inhaling up and exhaling in again. Inhaling up, three-legged dog, and one last time exhaling in. And then stepping through, maybe doubling your mat over for your right knee. Inhaling the arms up, find extension first before hooking the right wrist and bending over to the left. Breathing here. Option to start to straighten that left leg, flexing into the ankle. And then slowly coming back into a low lunge, releasing the wrist and opening up to the left side, maybe placing the left hand on the low back and drawing the right arm up and over. On your next exhalation, we'll bring both hands towards the insides of the left foot, lifting the right knee and doing circles, allowing the left hip to relax. Stepping back to plank, come down through chaturanga and then upward dog. Tucking the toes under, we'll come to meet in a downward dog position. Breathing here, and then slowly begin to walk the hands back towards the feet, ragdolling once again over the knees. We'll inhale halfway and exhale through the mouth. Inhaling up again and exhale, release. One more time, inhaling up and exhale out. Ragdolling here, coming back to a normal breath. Release the hands and begin to roll all the way up. Inhaling the arms up over the head. Shifting the hips back and bending into the knees, we'll find ourselves in chair pose. Play with bringing the weight back towards your heels by lifting your toes. You can add a little pulse to fire up the glutes. Inhaling all the way up and bringing the hands down by your side. And we're coming into tree pose, but first let's find our footing, lifting all 10 toes up off the mat and then slowly and mindfully place them down one at a time, feeling all 4 corners grounded. Lifting the right knee, you can place it low or a little bit higher up the leg. You can bring your hands to heart center or higher up. Find a point of focus in front of you that is not moving. Keep the core and the left leg strong to help with your balance. And if you fall out of this at any point, you can always come back in. Exhale the arms down and draw the knee in towards the chest, intertwining the fingers over the shin. Spine is long. And then shift your right hand down towards your ankle and draw your leg back for a quad stretch, placing the left hand on the waist for support. And dropping that, bring the knee back into the chest and then open it up to the side. Coming back to center and releasing the leg down to the ground. And we'll set up on the other side. Feel free to walk out the feet if you need to. Placing the toes down, shift your weight into your right leg, placing your left leg either lower or a little bit higher up. Keeping strong through the core and breathing. And draw the arms down, bringing the knee in towards the chest. Take the opposite bind with your hands. Spine is long. And then shift your left hand down to your ankle, bringing it back for a quad stretch on this side. Releasing the ankle, draw the knee back in, and then out to the side. And coming back to center, releasing the leg back down. And we'll inhale the arms up over the head. Exhale, swan diving the arms, forward fold, generous bend in the knees if you need. Inhaling up for a halfway lift, chest is broad. Exhale, forward fold. Walking the hands back out in front, we'll come to meet in a plank position. Drop both feet over towards the right. You can leave them staggered or you can place the left on top of the right. Inhaling the left arm up for side plank, rising up through the hips as much as you can. If side plank is too much weight for the wrist to bear, you can always do this exercise on your forearms as well. On your next exhalation, coming back to center, and then we'll set up on the other side, either with staggered feet or one on top of the other. Inhaling the right arm up and lifting up through the hips. Breathing here. Strong through the core. Exhaling the arm down and coming back to plank. Exhale all the way down to your stomach. Tenting the fingers out wide, we'll start to roll up the spine. Inhaling up and then exhaling down. Again, like a wave, inhaling up, head is the last to lift. Exhaling down. And one more time, inhaling up, exhaling down. Bringing the hands underneath the shoulders, tucking the toes under. You can do this from your knees or straight up into plank. Exhaling back into downward dog. And breathe. Begin walking your hands back. And we'll come to meet in a ragdoll position again, holding onto opposite elbows. Inhaling up for a halfway lift, exhaling through the mouth. And again, halfway up, exhale, release. One more time, inhaling up and exhale, release. Releasing the elbows, widening the stance, begin to sink your hips back for a malasana squat. You may be a little bit higher if you're a bit tighter, that's okay. If you have the flexibility, you can sink down a little bit more. Engage the legs by abducting the thighs, keeping the hips wide open. Placing the hands down, we'll walk down the mat, meeting in plank, and then exhaling down and through for upward dog. Tucking the toes under and exhaling back, downward dog. Placing the knees down on the ground, come up to a kneeling position. Then placing the hands on the low back, inhale the chest up, lifting up as far as feels good, and going back for camel pose. You can stay right here with your hands on your low back, or if you're a little more flexible, maybe reach down and grab your heels. Wherever you are, be sure that you have extension through the chest and that your hips are forward. Neck is relaxed. Breathing here. Coming up on the exhalation. And then shifting back. We'll take a wide-legged child's pose. Feel free to grab a cushion or a block for a little bit of support underneath you if you need it. And coming back up slowly. And coming off the legs, shifting them forward. Bring the soles of your feet together, as close into the body as you can, and then holding onto the feet, spread them open like a flower. And you can add a little bit of a movement here to loosen up the hips. Taking a full inhalation, tilting the head back, start to hinge at the hips, drawing the chest forward and keeping the spine long. Only go down as far as feels good without flexing into the upper spine. Feel free to add any little movements that feel good. On your next inhalation, come all the way up. And then bring your feet out a little bit wider, maybe snaking your hands underneath and then relaxing down again. This time, feel free to flex into the spine liberally, allowing the head to be heavy. And coming back up. And we're setting up for Navasana, so you can keep your hands grounded. And then bringing the feet up. You can start to hover your hands, maybe extending the legs long if that's accessible, or keeping them bent. Core is strong. Imagine you're trying to bring your chest in towards your thighs. On your next exhalation, begin to lower down to low boat, keeping the shoulders and the feet lifted. Inhale to come up to high boat. And exhale down to low boat. Core is strong. Inhaling up one more time. And exhaling down, hover. And then releasing all the way down. And we're setting up for a bridge pose. So bending the knees, bringing the feet in as close as you can. Inhale the hips up, and then walk the shoulders under, interlacing the fingers underneath you. Keep the glutes strong and chest open, breathing here. On your next exhalation, slowly lower the hips, releasing the hands, and bring your knees into the chest. Bring your knees out towards your armpits. You can stay right here holding onto your shins, or if it feels comfortable, you can extend your legs up for happy baby, maybe rocking side to side. If holding onto the outsides of your feet is too much, you can always hold onto your shins. releasing the feet, bringing the knees in. We'll give ourselves one last big hug, wrapping the arms all the way around. And then exhaling and relaxing down for our final resting position. Allow the breath to be soft and natural. Relaxing all the tension away from the forehead and in between the brows. Loosening the jaw. Relaxing the shoulders. Arms are heavy. Core is soft. And feel free to stay here in this position for as long as you'd like. Thank you so much for joining me for practice today. Sending you peace and love.